Take a seat, Nevin. Folks, if you want to go ahead and take a seat, we can get started. Welcome. Call to order the September 25th, 2025 Indiana Gaming Commission meeting. I am Mark Fine, standing in as chair of the meeting, and I'll ask our executive director, Hoag, to call the introduce the new members and then call the roll.
Sure. Thanks, Mark. Just one point of procedure. We do have 3 new commissioners here today. I'm sure this room knows there are a number of things you have to go through before becoming a commissioner and discharging your duties. One of those being you have to get your own personal bond. There's a process that goes along with that. So we were able to complete that process for Commissioner Pajic, but for Commissioner Hellman, who's joining us on the phone from somewhere in Africa, and for Chairman Embry, we weren't able to go through that process. So out of an abundance of caution, and to ensure that everything's on the up and up, for official purposes, we only have Commissioner Fine, Commissioner Creighton, Commissioner Cohen, and Commissioner Pajic as present members here today. They will do all the voting. They will be called as roll. Commissioner Embry and Commissioner Hellman can participate in discussion, but they will not participate in any votes of that nature. Again, just to make sure we're all on the up and up. I don't feel like there's anything contentious on the agenda, but we just want to make sure that we are in compliance with the law. So with that being said, I will introduce our 3 new commissioners. Troy Hellman, who again is here with us telephonically, is from Fort Wayne, Indiana. He's a vice president commercial manager for Coldwell Banker Real Estate Group that has over 60 locations in Illinois, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Indiana. He and his wife own and operated their own brokerage company, which was founded in 1968. Troy has a real estate license in Indiana since 1984 and is licensed in Illinois as well. He holds a CCIM designation as well as a BS degree from Indiana State University. Troy has recently served as chair of the Indiana Real Estate Commission and also serves on the Indiana State University Foundation Board and the Hospice DNA Board. So welcome, Troy. Scott Pajic from Valparaiso is an attorney and president of the Pajic Law Group located in Michigan City. Scott is a 1996 graduate of Valparaiso University with a bachelor's in science and a 1990 graduate of Valparaiso University School of Law. Shout out to the Crusaders. There's not many of us left. He serves as a member of the LaPorte County Public Defenders Board, and he's also one of the founding members of the defense representative. He was also one of the founding members as the defense representative of the LaPorte County Problem Solving Court. So welcome to Scott. Brent Embry is our new chair. Brent is from Greenfield, Indiana, and is a partner in the law firm of Embry and Embry. Over the last 15 years, he has built a statewide practice as a personal service attorney specializing in the complex relationship between estate planning and probate, family law, business, real estate, and litigation. He's previously served as chief of staff for the Indiana Attorney General Steve Carter, and as well as a public policy advisor for the Golden Rule Insurance Company. He was an Eli Lilly Scholar at Wabash College and is a graduate of Indiana University in Indianapolis School of Law. Brent is a musician with a particular emphasis on trombone and voice. There will not be a presentation or a recital here today, at least not that I'm aware of.
Into the Christmas party?
Maybe at a Christmas party coming up. He is a native of Miami County, Indiana, and currently resides with his wife and 2 children in Greenfield, Indiana. So welcome to Brent. So with that, as far as roll call, Commissioner Fine.
Present.
Commissioner Creighton.
Present.
Commissioner Pajic.
Present.
Commissioner Cohen.
Present.
Mr. Chairman, we have a quorum.
Thank you. First item on the agenda was the election of the vice chair and the secretary, which we are going to defer until the December business meeting when we can have everyone voting. If you're looking at your calendars, the agencies recommended for next meeting dates, Thursday, March 26th, 2026. Thursday, June 25th, 2026, Thursday, September 24th, 2026, and Thursday, December 17th, 2026 for the next year's commission's meetings. The executive sessions would start at 10 a.m. and the formal business meetings would follow at 11 a.m. I'd ask each of the commissioners to check their calendars so that we can get reserve rooms for any meetings, and ask the commissioners perhaps if we have any interest in going to any of the casinos in June or September for an on-site meeting. So hopefully we can get our calendars together. That would be wonderful.
We'll also post those dates online after today, just for the industry to be able to see when those will be coming up. So
thank you. Our next item is the approval of the minutes. The commissioners, you should have received and reviewed the minutes from the June 23rd, 2025 meeting. Are there any additions, corrections? Not hearing any. We would entertain a motion.
Move to approve minutes.
Second. Motion and second. We'll go ahead and call for a vote. All in favor indicate with aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes are approved as presented. Thank you. And now we'll ask Executive Director Hoag to provide his report of the Executive Director.
all right. Thank you, Mark. First we'll start with the staff update. We have a number of new hires that we're excited to have coming on board. Jacob McBride is one of our new field auditors. Jacob graduated from Ball State with a bachelor's in finance. He comes to us from Bank of America, where he worked as a relationship banker. And before that, he owned and operated his own company, McBride Education, and previously taught high school business in Cambodia. Jacob is a wonderful asset to the team, and he's hit the ground running, and we're glad to have him on board. Another field auditor we've brought on is Jaree Lewis. She's a graduate from IUPUI Indianapolis with a bachelor's degree in liberal arts. She's currently working toward her bachelor's degree in accounting, working towards one day becoming a forensic accountant. We found great value in her Title 31 experience in banking, as well as her experience maintaining federal and state compliance standards when she worked at Geico as a claims specialist. So welcome to our team. We have a new agent, Eric Beckham. He comes to us from the Mishawaka Police Department. He has a master's degree in law enforcement and public safety leadership. Eric's going to be assigned to our Horseshoe Indianapolis Casino here in Shelbyville, Indiana. Ariel Steedham comes to us as our new sports wagering operations manager. She comes highly recommended from her prior employer at the ATC, where she worked for 4 years in Type 2 gaming, and she worked in Type 2 gaming as an alcohol permit processor. So she has done amazing things since coming on board, and we are very happy to have her. Not started officially yet, but we'll start Monday. Natalie Huffman is our new general counsel. Natalie, you have to stand up and wave. So Natalie officially starts on Monday as our general counsel. She has a Bachelor of Science in Sports Marketing, graduating summa cum laude from the University of Indianapolis, and thereafter she went to the University of Notre Dame, where she got her law degree. This is a return for Natalie, as she previously served as staff attorney at gaming from 2015 to 17, and before moving on, then she moved on to serve as litigation counsel and deputy general counsel at B&B. And then for the last 6 years, she served as general counsel for the Criminal Justice Institute. So I've known Natalie for about 10 years, and I'm about ready to get even with her on a thing that she often likes to zing me on. So I met Natalie about 10 years ago when I was general counsel at DNR, and Natalie applied. I did not hire Natalie. About a year later, I was at B&B, and we hired Natalie. And I'm very fond of Natalie. She's an amazing attorney. But in the most Eddie Haskell way, ever since then, we'll be having a conversation of some sorts over the last 10 years. And I say, I'll just finish the conversation. That was kind of weird. And Natalie would respond, kind of like weird the time that you didn't hire me at DNR. So Natalie, now I get partial credit for a B&B hire, and I think I'll get partial credit here. So now I think we're even. So we're thrilled to have Natalie come on board. It's also interesting, I was thinking of driving in this morning, is I think the one thing that ties both Natalie, myself, and Mike was a wonderful, I call him young man, but was a young man, a former attorney of the agency named Noah Jackson. Noah Jackson was an attorney here. I stole him when I was at B&B, something that Sarah is still very upset with me about. And then he worked with Natalie here at at gaming. And then Mike stole him from B&B, and he went on to be general counsel at horse racing. Unfortunately, Noah passed away about 3 years ago, but I think he would be amazed and very amazed that we are together because the three of us were on different timelines in life. But I know he would get a good chuckle. He was a good dude, and in Joe Hoag's opinion, that's about the highest compliment you can get. And I know Mike and both Natalie thought the world of him, and so it's nice to just think about him at this moment. And yeah, it's nice to have us all back together with Noah watching us over. So those are our new hires. For departures, we lost a lot of seniority at gaming since the last time we've been together. Angie Bunton was our compliance director. She served 24 years at the Gaming Commission, ending as our compliance director. When she started with us, her first day was the day after her 21st birthday, which obviously is a day probably most people can remember, good and bad. But she came to gaming and all she wanted to do was be a receptionist. And over the course of the next 24 years, she was promoted at least 5, if not 6 times. And when she left, she had a college degree. She had a wonderful daughter named Harlow, and she just had blossomed into this amazing person. She was a godsend to Mike and I, both starting on coming back to gaming. And it was just really nice to get to know her again. She was an amazing writer. She is an amazing writer. I always say I love the way she writes and communicates. But she's moving on. She is now the Director of Operations and Engagement for the Responsible Online Gaming Association. So probably won't see her here, but we will see her from time to time. And we are just, it's bittersweet. We are happy we had the experience, but still a little bit sad that she's moved on, but she's moved on to bigger and better things. And as I said, when she departed from us, I can't wait to know in 3 years, somebody's going to come up in the industry and say, hey, did you hear about Angie? She's now doing this. And it just won't be a surprise because I just think she's a very, very talented, and we were very lucky to have her for that long. In that same vein, Jenny Reske, former deputy director, and most recently served as our chief administrative officer, has bid us adieu. Jenny, like Angie, is one of the very few remaining people that have worked for every single executive director the Gaming Commission has ever known. And so she was a wealth of knowledge for the agency, and she literally dealt with every, what I would call, issue big and small for us over the course of the last 25 years. Both her and Angie were big believers and supporters of our responsible and problem gaming initiatives. And again, like Angie, she was just couldn't have been nicer, couldn't have been more welcoming. Lots of dumb questions I know Mike and I had, and she was a peach. And so IGC will go on, but it won't just be the same exactly without Jenny and Angie. So we thank them for, I guess that's probably close to 50 years of service to the agency. So one update legislative wise, it's something we talked about last time, but I just want to bring it to the attention of the commissioners as the date draws near. Senate Bill 43 from the last legislative session required the commission to contract with an independent gaming research firm to identify the top 2 regions of the state where an owner's license may be located. That report is due by November 1st, and it has to consider a number of factors that are laid out in statute. That is a public document, and just we have the industry here. When that is ready to go, there will be a press release. I'm guessing the morning of, and that report will be posted on our website, but that has to be done by November 1st. And I'm guessing it'll probably be out sometime the week prior to that. So just one item to touch upon there. As far as reinvestigations, we had 7 reinvestigations since the last time we met that are due this quarterly meeting. Those are for Data Financial, Mosk Publishing, JCM American Corporation, the Ainsworth Game Technology Limited, Zuvid LLC, GLP Capital, and Smart Kids Holding USA. So there was confidential information in your packets. If you have any questions, we can obviously answer those at any time. The exclusion update, since our last meeting, 19 additional individuals have been added to the statewide exclusion list, bringing our grand total to 1,124 individuals that are on that list. As far as a waiver summary, and information about both the waivers and the exclusion, again, are always kept on our website under the meeting agenda. So if you want to know further information, you can obviously go to it there. For the since the last business meeting, we've granted 10 waivers. Of those 10, 4 were applicable to all casinos. Those 4 waivers dealt with relieving the requirements to submit promotions to the agency prior to the event occurring. We've also waived the requirement that sports wagering operators must have 1 manager level position designated as a level 1 occupational licensee. We've made the waiver to allow occupational licensees to wear their badge on a lanyard. And we've also issued a waiver as regarding to security and surveillance to change shifts during the currency collection process. Waivers specific to individual casinos. Boyd was issued a waiver, a permanent approval of a waiver regarding their Oasis loyalty kiosks. Caesar Southern Indiana was issued a waiver for surveillance staffing during unique weather events and casino closures. Horseshoe Hammond was issued a waiver on dedicated surveillance coverage of progressive meters on EGD devices and an increase to the overall threshold amount to $150,000, which occurred after a waiver that was issued on a trial basis. For our OTBs in Clarksville, Indy, and New Haven, there was a waiver of the requirement to have the applicant's signature on the back side of the licensing badge and approved the modifying licensing procedures that OTB employees must go through prior to starting their job. Terre Haute was granted a permanent waiver after a temporary waiver as to the escort requirements for jackpots that are $10,000 or less. And finally, Rising Star was given a 6-month trial waiver to allow for a dual director of surveillance and security. So again, there's a summary of those on our website. And with that, Commissioner Fine, that is the Executive Director's report.
Thank you, Executive Director Hogan. Will you now administer the oaths? Yes, thank you.
It's like we have the same schedule. Anybody who's presenting today, if you can go ahead and please stand. Do you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury that the testimony you'll give today will be the truth?
Very good. Thank you. Is there any old business to come before the meeting? Not seeing any. We'll move on to new business. And the first item that we have for new business is our license renewals. Attorney Chris Neal will now present orders 2025-101 through 2025-107.
Good morning, Commissioners, executive staff. First, you have before you order 2025-101 pursuant to Indiana Code Section 433.78 and 68 IAC Section 228. A supplier's license must be renewed each year, along with payment of a $7,500 renewal fee. Each of the following licensees has submitted a timely request for renewal, along with the required payment. Gaming Partners International USA Incorporated, Aces Up Gaming Incorporated, EDF Compliance LLC, Every Games Incorporated, GLP Capital, Score Media and Gaming Incorporated, doing business as The Score, NYX Digital, Galaxy Gaming, and Global Surveillance Associates. Approving Order 2025-101 would have the effect of renewing the license of each of the respective licensees for a period of 1 year. Thank you. And next on the agenda, you have before you orders 2025-102, 2025-103, and 2025-104 regarding the renewal of Blue Chip, Rising Star, and Belterra's casino owners' licenses, respectively. Blue Chip, Rising Star, and Belterra have all filed the proper paperwork and paid their renewal fee. Previously, by orders 2024-110, 2024-111, and 2024-112, the Commission had approved the written power of attorney for Blue Chip, Rising Star, and Belterra, respectively. These approvals expire upon the renewal of the casino owner's license, and for that reason, all casinos must request renewal of the Commission's approval of the written power of attorney concurrently with the request for renewal, or they may present the Commission with a new written power of attorney, naming a new trustee in waiting. Blue Chip, Rising Star, and Belterra have all stated their intent to maintain their existing trustees in waiting and have not presented the Commission with any modifications to their power of attorney. Approving orders 2025-102, 2025-103, and 2025-104 would have the effect of renewing the license and approving the power of attorney for Blue Chip, Rising Star, and Belterra, respectively, for a period of 1 year. And then next, you have before you order 2025-105. Pursuant to Indiana Code Section 438.81, a certificate of authority must be renewed each year along with the payment of a $50,000 renewal fee. Each of the following certificate holders has submitted a timely request for renewal along with the required payment. That's Ameristar Casino East Chicago LLC, Centaur Acquisition LLC, doing business as Horseshoe Indianapolis, Indiana Gaming Company LLC, doing business as Hollywood, Hoosier Park LLC, doing business as Caesars Race and Sportsbook Indianapolis, Horseshoe Hammond LLC, Blue Chip Casino LLC, Blue Sky Casino LLC, doing business as French Lick Resort, Belterra Resort Indiana LLC, Astar Indiana Gaming Company LLC, doing business as Bally's Evansville, CSI Operating Company LLC, doing business as Caesars Southern Indiana, Centaur Acquisition LLC, doing business as Caesars Race and Sportsbook Clarksville, Hoosier Park LLC doing business as Harris Hoosier Park, Hoosier Park LLC doing business as Caesars Race and Sportsbook New Haven, CDITH LLC doing business as Terre Haute Casino Resort, and Gaming Entertainment Indiana LLC doing business as Rising Star. Approving Order 2025-101 would have the effect of renewing the certificates of the respective licensees for a period of 1 year. And now you have before you Order 2025-106. Pursuant to Indiana Code Section 43866, a vendor's license must be renewed each year along with the payment of a $50,000 renewal fee. Each of the following licensees has submitted a timely request for renewal along with that required payment. American Wagering Incorporated, doing business as Caesars Sportsbook, vendor for Hoosier Park. Betfair Interactive US, doing business as FanDuel for Blue Chip. Betfair Interactive US, doing business as FanDuel for Belterra. Crown IN Gaming LLC, doing business as DraftKings for Ameristar. And Rush Street Interactive LP, doing business as Bet Rivers for French Lick. Approving Order 2025-106 would have the effect of renewing the license of each of those respective licensees for a period of 1 year. And finally, you have before you Order 2025-107. Pursuant to Indiana Code Section 433-2415 and 68 IAC 26310, a paid fantasy sports operator license must be renewed each year, along with payment of a $5,000 renewal fee. The following licensees have submitted a timely request for renewal along with that required payment: Underdog Sports LLC and Sports Hub Regulatory LLC. Approving Order 2025-107 would have the effect of renewing the license of each of the respective licensees for a period of 1 year. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for Mr. Neal? Not hearing any questions. We would entertain a motion for orders 2025-101 through 2025-107 with respect to license renewals.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion and second. Without any other questions, we will go ahead and call for a vote. All in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Are there any opposed? They are approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next item on the agenda is with respect to permanent licenses. The Director of Financial Investigations, Danielle Leak, will now present Order 2025-108.
Good morning, Commissioners and Executive Staff. Order 2025-108 will approve the permanent supplier license for Unity Surveillance Incorporated. The company and its key persons have submitted the required applications and received temporary licenses issued by the IGC. Commission staff conducted background and financial investigations on the company along with their substantial owners and key persons. Commission staff found no material derogatory information that would affect suitability of the applicants. Staff's final report has been provided in the confidential commission meeting documents. Approving Order 2025-108 will grant a permanent supplier license to Unity Surveillance subject to annual renewal. Happy to answer any questions that you have.
Are there any questions? Not hearing any, we will entertain a motion with respect to Order 2025-108.
Move to approve.
It's a motion
Second.
and a second. Without any questions, we'll go ahead and call for a vote. All in favor indicate with aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It is approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is our Director of Audit and Interim Director of Compliance, Billy Quist, will now present disciplinary actions under Orders 2025-109 through 2025-113.
Good morning, Commissioners and Executive Staff. You have before you 5 settlement agreements concerning disciplinary action against casino operators. Order 2025-109 is a settlement agreement with Bally's Evansville, wherein the casino violated the rules for live gaming device fills and credits. Bally's Evansville agreed to a monetary settlement of $2,000. Order 2025-110 is a settlement agreement with Blue Chip Casino Hotel Spa, wherein the casino violated the rules for currency collection. Blue Chip Casino Hotel Spa agreed to a monetary settlement of $1,000. Order 2025-111 is a settlement agreement with French Lick Resort Casino, wherein the casino allowed an underage person to access the casino floor on 2 separate occasions. French Lick Resort Casino agreed to a monetary settlement of $4,500. Order 2025-112 is a settlement agreement with Hard Rock Casino Northern Indiana, wherein the casino allowed an underage person to access the casino floor. Hard Rock Casino Northern Indiana agreed to a monetary settlement of $1,500. Order 2025-113 is a settlement agreement with Terre Haute Casino Resort, wherein the casino failed to exclude a person on the voluntary exclusion program who had an active account. Terre Haute Casino Resort agreed to a monetary settlement of $1,500. Relevant details for each settlement agreement have been provided in your meeting materials. Each settlement agreement will also be available on the Commissioner's website following the meeting. Mr. Chair, that concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Mr. Quist? Without any questions, we'll entertain a motion for orders 2025-109 through 2025-113 with respect to disciplinary actions for casinos.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion and second. Without any questions, we'll call for a vote. All in favor indicate with aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? They are approved. Thank you.
Yep.
Next on our agenda is Deputy General Counsel Zachary Watson will present order 2025-114 concerning an amendment to the local development agreement for the Terre Haute Casino.
Morning, Commissioners, Executive Staff. Commissioners, before you is Order 2025-114 regarding a proposed amendment to a local development agreement that was entered into by the Board of Commissioners of Vigo County, Indiana, and CDITH LLC. Originally, the phrase "Queen of" was intended to be part of the name of the casino and the foundation, but was later dropped. The amendment seeks to remove the phrase "Queen of" from the local development agreement. A copy of the proposed amendment and the request is included in your materials. Approving Order 2025-114 would allow the parties to amend the local development agreement to accurately reflect the names that are being used by the casino and the foundation.
Thank you, Mr. Watson. Any questions with respect to Queen of? Not hearing any, we'll go ahead and entertain a motion for approval of Order 2025-114.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion and second. Without any questions, we'll go ahead and call for a vote. All in favor indicate with aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? It is approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
No more Queen of. Next, we'll ask Mr. Watson to continue with orders 2025-115 through 2025-149.
Commissioners, before you have Order 2025-115 concerning a felony waiver application of Ruben Rivera Garcia. Per statute, an individual who has been convicted of a felony may not be granted an occupational license. However, an applicant who has been convicted of a felony is allowed to request a waiver if they establish by clear and convincing evidence that they have been rehabilitated. Mr. Rivera Garcia provided testimony about his rehabilitation, demonstrated ownership of his past mistakes, demonstrated that this was an isolated incident in his past, and showed that he successfully completed the terms of his conviction and release. Detailed information regarding this order is contained in your confidential materials. Adopting the staff's finding and recommendation and approving the application would have the effect of allowing Mr. Rivera Garcia to maintain his interim temporary license issued to him and obtain a permanent license upon successful completion of the licensing investigation.
Are there any questions for Mr. Watson?
I guess I would just say on this particular one, I'm encouraged that someone's gonna be able to get back on their feet after a mistake that they made quite a bit of time ago. So I appreciate the decision. My question is there any follow-up action based on this, or is he just free to do his job and then?
Well, he was granted an interim license, which is per resolution, is allowed by the executive director when he reviews the recommendation that's written by staff. As of right now, if you were to deny the license, that temporary license would be revoked and he would not be able to work anymore.
Thank you.
Any further questions for Mr. Watson? Not hearing any, we would entertain a motion with respect to Order 2025-115.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and second. Without any further questions, we'll call for a vote. All in favor indicate with aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Please continue.
Before you is orders 2025-116 through 2025-119 concerning applications for an occupational licensees to work for Indiana licensees. Regarding these orders, applicants failed to disclose their complete criminal history and/or had felony convictions and therefore failed to meet the established standards for licensure. Applicants were given an opportunity to withdraw their applications from consideration but failed to do so. Detailed information regarding these orders is contained in your confidential commission materials. Approving orders 2025-116 through 2025-119 would have the effect of denying these applications.
Any questions for Mr. Watson? Not hearing any, we'll entertain a motion for approval of orders 2025-116 through 2025-119.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion and second. Without any further questions, we'll call for a vote. All in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Any opposed? Not hearing any. They are approved. Thank you.
And next before you have orders 2025-120 through 2025-149. These orders concern settlement agreements between commission staff and occupational licensees. In lieu of disciplinary action, commission staff offered each of these licensees a settlement agreement that would have them agree to unpaid voluntary relinquishment of their occupational license for a period of regularly scheduled working days with no vacation or paid time off to be used. Each of these licensees agreed to the terms of the settlement agreements. Detailed information regarding each of these matters is contained in your confidential materials and has been provided to the commission. Approving orders 2025-120 through 2025-149 would have the effect of ratifying these agreements with the occupational licensees.
Are there any questions, Mr. Watson? Not hearing any. We would entertain a motion to approve orders 2025-120 through 2025-149.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and second. Without questions, we'll call for a vote. All in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Any opposed? They are approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next in our agenda, we have resolutions. Attorney Chris Neal will present resolution 2025-150.
Hello again, commissioners. You have before you now Resolution 2025-150. Resolution 2025-150 concerns the temporary delegation of rulemaking powers to the executive director. During the 2025 legislative session, the commission was directed to adopt rules regarding electronic raffles, electronic poll tab systems, and various combat sports. Commission staff has begun the promulgation process and has been given approval by the governor to commence interim rulemaking for the rules regarding combat sports, and we anticipate receiving approval for the rules regarding electronic raffles and electronic poll tabs soon. Once those approvals are received, the notices of interim rulemaking can be filed, which will begin the 30-day comment periods for the respective rules, after which those interim rules can be adopted. Swift promulgation of interim rules is necessary to best serve the interests of the various industries involved. Additionally, administrative rules adopted under Indiana Code 422.2 expire on January 1st of the 5th year after the year in which the rule takes effect. The public comment period for the readoption of rules without changes for rules expiring January 1st, 2026, and actually tomorrow, September 26, 2025. Readopted rules become effective 30 days after the rule is filed with the register. And due to this, the rules, since the comment period ends tomorrow, the rules cannot be adopted at this meeting, and they can't wait for the December meeting because they need to be adopted before December 1st, 2025 in order to be effective before expiration. Commission staff recommend the approval of Resolution 2025-150 in order to quickly promulgate interim rules required by the recent statutory changes, as well as to comply with the statutory deadlines for the readoption of rules without changes. If adopted, this resolution would be limited in duration and have no effect after July 1st, 2026. Approval of Resolution 2025-150 will have the effect of temporarily delegating rulemaking authority to the executive director. I'm happy to answer any questions you have about this resolution.
One thing to follow up on that, there would be at the next meeting, if there was an approval given, Chris or one of the other attorneys would give a review of everything that I had done during that time. So you will be completely vetted on what has occurred in between the two meetings.
Questions for Mr. Neal or Executive Director Hope? Not hearing any. Is there a motion with respect to resolution 2025-150?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion in second. We'll call for a vote. All in favor indicate with aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It is approved. Please continue.
Thank you. And finally, you have before you Resolution 2025-151. Resolution 2025-151 concerns an agency correction to our administrative rules. The General Assembly, through Public Law 186/2025, has revised the definition sections of Indiana Code Section 3-5, which is now kind of codified under Indiana Code 352.1 instead of 352. Given that recodification, 68 IAC 1-1-11 and 68 IAC 1-1-70 now incorrectly cite to the relevant statutory definitions. Therefore, this agency correction is necessary in order to cure the inaccurate references in our administrative code. Thank you.
Any questions for Mr. Neal? In the absence of any questions, we'll entertain a motion for approval of resolution 2025-151.
Motion approved. Second.
Motion in second. Call for vote. All in favor indicate with aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It is approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
With that final order of business, that concludes our business agenda for today's meeting. I thank everybody for attending. It is nice. Our next meeting is scheduled for December 18th. So we hope to see your shiny faces at that time. We'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you. Grant